So tonight on the bench, we have a pump pressure switch. Pump pressure switch is installed between your pressure tank, that's the water pumps out of your well and into the pressure tank, and the well. It will be wired, the input side will be wired to the well, so input the output. So you'll put the output, it'll usually say, here we go, it says on the inside. So it'll say on the inside, usually the output is on the either on the inside or the outside. On this one, it says that the motor is on the inside, and then line is on the outside. So whenever the pressure is triggered, let's see if I can trigger it by hand. Here we go. You will see this happen. So we're going to zoom in. All right. So when the pressure is triggered, the contacts will open, shutting the pump off. When the pressure falls in your pressure tank, the contacts will close, completing the circuit and turning the well pump on to refill and complete the cycle all over again. This one had to be replaced because UV had damaged the conduit that it was in and exposed the wires, so they were in danger of shorting each other out here, not in here. And the reason that these two pieces are still here is because for some reason they were welded there. They won't come loose. If you look real close, you can see a bit of copper wire right there. Don't know why it's there. It's not my task to find that out. It was my task to make sure that it was corrected. Usually, if your well pump stops working, it is this thing. Not always, but it is usually this thing. And what happens is, over time of opening and closing with 220 volts and the stress of a well, you get little tiny shorts, carbon deposits right here. And you just go in there with a file or something after turning the power off. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that. And you would clean that deposit off, and your pump would be working again. You adjust the pressure up using this big spring here. So if you tighten this, the pressure goes higher, and you loosen it to make it go lower. It will say on your pressure tank how much pressure has to be there. You should follow those instructions because you just should. Again, this is one of those things I shouldn't have to explain. Here's your ground. Line in on both sides, one on one side, one on the other. Motor out, one on one side, one on the other. There's 110 volts going to each side. It's a pretty simple device. It has a diaphragm, probably a rubber diaphragm in here. Yep, that's rubber in there. And as the water pressure builds, it pushes against the diaphragm, which extends this rocker. Hold on, let's see if I can trigger it by hand. I should be able to. Triggers that rocker to move. Doesn't have to deflect a lot, and opens the circuit. And then when the pressure falls again, it closes the circuit. So there you go. What the hell is that? That is a well pressure pump switch, or well pump pressure switch. Excuse me. Good night.